Friends of Formula One, Fred Vasseur just dropped a massive statement before the summer break, saying openly that it will be the smallest details that decide the World Championship fight in 2026. And Ferrari is fully convinced that the SF26 has exactly the performance needed to stay in the hunt right until the final lap. The French team principal thanked everyone at Maranello, reminding the team that the competition is incredibly fierce and that every single contribution matters. And honestly, the numbers back him up. The real secret weapon of the Scuderia in this first half of the season has been consistency. Both SF26 cars have finished in the points in 9 out of 11 races, while Mercedes managed to bring both of their cars home in the points in just 6 rounds. A gap of 72 points in the Constructors' Championship is far from impossible to close, especially when you consider that the last 3 races were won by 3 completely different teams: Hamilton in Barcelona, Leclerc at Silverstone, and Norris in Budapest. But here is the big news. Ferrari has officially launched a full-scale recruitment campaign targeting 5 key additions, and the first 2 have already arrived at Maranello. Luciano Nicomede comes directly from Mercedes after more than 4 years as senior chassis composite designer, while Spaniard Carlos Sanchez Martinez leaves Aston Martin after 8 years to take on the role of chassis stress engineering specialist. Both men join the staff of Fabio Montecchi, who has just finalized the structural specifications for the chassis of the new 2027 car. And then there is the historic promise made by John Elkann roughly 4 years ago. By 2026, we will win at least one of the 2 world championships. That promise still hangs over everything at the Gestione Sportiva, and it is not going away. If you don't want to miss any updates on Ferrari and Formula One, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. With that said, let's dive straight into the full analysis. Let's start with the most important message coming out of the Ferrari camp. Fred Vasseur has told his team clearly that it will be the finest details that determine the outcome of the 2026 Formula One title fight, and the team is fully confident that the SF26 has what it takes to stay competitive all the way to the final race. The message from the Frenchman before the summer shutdown is crystal clear. The foundations of a winning team and a winning car are all there, but turning that potential into a championship will require near-perfect execution at every single race weekend. The summer break is also a moment of reflection for every team on the grid, a unique opportunity to assess everything built in the first half of the season and lay the groundwork for a strong push toward the finish. At Ferrari, the message is unambiguous. The championship is still wide open. Vasseur is asking his team to treat every Grand Prix weekend as an almost flawless operation from start to finish. Ferrari has frequently shown a very high level of competitiveness throughout the season, but they have not always managed to maximize the final result. Strategy calls, qualifying sessions, tire management, isolated incidents, and small operational imperfections have sometimes prevented the team from extracting everything the SF26 was actually capable of. When the performance gaps in Formula One are this narrow, large-scale changes are not necessarily what make the difference. Success depends far more on combining dozens of seemingly marginal details until, taken together, they add up to better performance on the track. The statistic that flatters the SF26 is genuinely striking. In the first 11 races of the season, both SF26 cars have finished in the points at 9 of those events, a figure that speaks volumes about the remarkable consistency of the Leclerc and Hamilton pairing. The only blemishes are Leclerc's 2 retirements in Monaco and Barcelona, but even with those, the data puts real pressure on Mercedes. The Brackley outfit, despite their apparent dominance early in the year, has brought both cars home in the points at just 6 of 11 rounds, a significant gap that is explained primarily by reliability concerns and the repeated problems that have hit George Russell throughout the season. Over the last 3 races, Maranello has steadily closed the gap on Toto Wolff's team, and both at Silverstone and in Belgium, we saw a Ferrari that was consistently in the fight. Across Great Britain, Belgium, and Hungary, for the very first time since the season began, 3 different teams took victory. That is a hugely significant signal, showing that Mercedes is no longer the untouchable force it appeared to be after Antonelli's 5 consecutive wins to open the year, including Monaco. Winning the championship will no longer be about targeting victory at every single round. It will require exactly that consistency of performance that has been missing from the Silver Arrows. and that is precisely where Ferrari is thriving right now. The 72-point gap in the constructor standings is absolutely recoverable, with 12 Grands Prix still remaining and Ferrari bringing meaningful updates to the car at every round. Ferrari has officially opened a recruitment drive on the technical side, and according to Motorsport, the plan involves 5 names in total, 5 people joining the team, 2 of whom have already walked through the doors at Maranello. Fred Vasseur is working hard to give technical director Loic Serra all the human resources he genuinely needs. The Hungarian Grand Prix, which closed out the first part of the season, exposed some weaknesses in a team that is not yet consistently mature enough to win with regularity. Too many mistakes and too many missed opportunities in a race where the SF26 had shown real pace. Targeted reinforcements are needed to make that decisive step forward. Luciano Nicomede arrives directly from Brackley after more than 4 years as senior chassis composite designer at Mercedes. And this is a major signing, because Ferrari is taking a high-level professional directly from the team that is currently winning almost everything. Carlos Sanchez Martinez, meanwhile, leaves the Silverstone-based outfit after 8 full years to become chassis stress engineering specialist, which in plain terms means he is an expert in the structural calculations of the chassis. Both men arrive just in time to strengthen the staff of Fabio Montecchi, the head of chassis development, who has just defined the structural specifications for the new 2027 car, based on directions set directly by Loic Serra. While Mercedes appears to be going through a period of talent drain, with Claire Simpson moving to Williams and Robert Miller, head of reliability, choosing Audi, Ferrari looks clearly focused on building its workforce, having managed the budget cap with notable care and discipline. The most critical point remains John Elkann's promise, made roughly 4 years ago. By 2026, we will win at least one of the 2 world championships. That is an enormous weight sitting on the shoulders of the entire Gestione Sportiva. Being technically adventurous is not enough on its own. Ferrari's innovative approach, developing solutions like the reverse wing and the now famous hanger flap, and genuinely pushing to the technical limits, all of that is admirable. But none of it is sufficient if the end result does not come, especially if the minimum target is missed: winning at least one of the 2 world titles. And if we think the Constructors' Championship is the more realistic goal from a tactical standpoint, given how car positioning across all races can be managed more strategically, we need to be completely honest about what that means in terms of execution. We close with an important technical update coming up right after the summer break. For Zandvoort, a medium-level upgrade package is expected for the SF26, based on information gathered so far. On the aerodynamic side, the updated version of the reverse wing in its evolved form should finally arrive, alongside other significant interventions focused on the side pod area. With the latest updates, Ferrari has increased the volume of the inlet sections, and more importantly, the lateral side pods themselves, both in geometric shape and based on what the computational fluid dynamics simulations have shown. This brings benefits in the lateral airflow shaping of the car body, directing more air toward the diffuser. It is a precise, surgical piece of micro-aerodynamics that could make a very significant difference at technical, high downforce circuits like Zandvoort, where aerodynamic load matters far more than raw, straight-line speed. The game is far from over.